Just waiting for the old funds to come, fashionably late as ever. And welcome everyone to the Talking Rubbish podcast. We don't really know what we're going to do, but we're going to talk some rubbish. So welcome everybody, and welcome everybody who listens back to it. Here he is now, man of the hour.
Hello, 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 hello.
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 How are you doing?
I've had such a fun week, but it's been so stressful because there's just been so much to do.
Yeah, I can imagine. I was just going to say as well, I've literally just become obsessed with Jimmy Eat World again at the moment. I don't know. I played it in the space the other day, and I think it's just reignited my Jimmy Eat World passion. And I love the middle as well because it just reminds me of being like when I think I was about 13, 14, because it used to be the intro to Malcolm in the Middle, didn't it? Who
Is
is obviously
that what it
Bryan
was?
Cranston. Yeah, Bryan Cranston. Do you know Walter White out of Breaking Bad? That was the dad in Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah, I know that. I remember watching Breaking Bad the whole time thinking, why is he so serious? Why isn't he being funny? Why isn't he making jokes?
Yeah, I think it just shows how good of a like acting range he's got, because he's just gone from like typical like funny dad to like a raging meth dealer. But yeah, I absolutely love both shows.
I think he's a good example of just like how people change. Like no matter like after a while, people would change and they can do so many things. Like you know what I think about all the time too. Jordan Peele. He started with like the skits, and he was like this hilarious skit writer and actor, comedian. And now he's doing like all these like amazing horror movies, and it just shows like how talented he is, but then also how we just change after a while. Like we don't have to just put ourselves into like this one box and always stick to that. We can change, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I did actually have to Google who Jordan Peele was, but as soon as I saw him, I know he is straight away. He was in some funny things, wasn't he? And then I think he's done like some quite serious movies as well. Like I think he's done a few horrors as well, hasn't he?
He did. He did. What's it called? Get Out. He did Get Out, and then he did another one called like I think Us or This Is Us or something, which is like really scary or creepy about like people who have like mirror versions of themselves. And then he's doing another one called Nope that looks like some kind of like cowboy Texan. Um, I don't know, with like aliens or something. He does a lot of really cool creative things. Like I love it. I can't. He pisses me off because I love seeing talented people, but then like I see them and I think, wow, like I thought I was creative, but man. Wait one second. You know what? I'm gonna get on the other phone and I'm gonna request you to be a co-host too.
All right. Well. Yeah, he works a lot with. He's another actor. I think he's a UK actor. You probably can't even know what I'm saying if you're just switching phones. But I'm trying to think what he's called. He's a UK actor. I'm just literally googling now. Yeah. I remember Get Out. What's he called? Yeah, Daniel Kaluuya. Yeah, he's an awesome actor. But I think he's in the new one as well, isn't he? That one that you were just talking about then.
I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm such a movie buff, and I'm a like addict.
Yeah, I haven't watched that many new films recently, really. I've just been flipping through Netflix. I'm in the series mode now, and the new Umbrella Academy's just come out, so I've watched the very first one of that. But yeah, it was a bit weird to be fair. Well, I don't want to spoil it for anyone who's listening, but yeah, I do really like it. But the first episode, I thought it was a bit meh. I don't know. I don't know if you've seen it or not.
I haven't been able to watch anything lately. Like the only TV I watch is Naruto. I don't know how to pronounce it right. And that's because I committed to it. That's the problem with TV, like TV shows. Like it's a commitment. It's like this thing that you once you start, you have to finish it. Um, so when people tell me about like all these shows, I always think I I appreciate like people recommending things to me, but I always think like you're thrusting so much responsibility on someone, right? Especially if it's like a lot of episodes, a lot of series. Like imagine recommending someone a 10 season show and that they have to watch it. That you're committing them to so much things. I feel like there's a responsibility at that point.
Challenge accepted. I'll probably do it in a weekend. Just order loads of Dominoes and just not move out of bed for like 3 days. Actually, that sounds like my idea of heaven. Actually,
I feel guilty. I like just like doing nothing. But I guess I do really like when things go like viral where everybody's talking about it. I do feel like sometimes I have to watch it. So like Stranger Things is one of them. I had to watch it just because I it feels like I'm out of the loop if I don't watch it, and I get like that FOMO, and I need to be a part of it. Like what's the other one? Tiger King. I had to watch it. I couldn't stand people talking about it and me being out of it, so I had to watch it. So if a show's like real, like which one's the one that I didn't watch? I didn't watch the which one's the one where like there's kings and Game of Thrones. I never watched that.
yeah, I'd strongly advise you not to because I don't know. Just imagine you're running a marathon. Say you've gone like you've been running for like 5 hours, and you get 10 meters from the finish line, and then like the finish line just collapses, and like I don't know, like a sinkhole suddenly appears, and you can't finish it, and I don't know. Just I would strongly advise you not to. It's like they build it up for so long, and then they just slap you in the face and say, "Right, see ya." But I was going to say as well, I know you said you've been busy recently, and because you've been NFT NYC. So how has that been?
Oh, dude, it's been so fun. It's every like so I think the event was like this week during the week, right? But they started early, like they started as far back as last Friday, and I remember being really excited because I wanted to just start going to all the events, and I was starting to get a little stressed because Friday came around and I couldn't do anything. I kept trying to find things and I couldn't find anything, and then Saturday came around, same thing. But then as soon as Monday came on, like immediately it went from like 0 to 100 in seconds. Like there, like there's too many events going on. Like it's not finding an event; it's finding time to do all the events. There are so many. Like it's you know how NFTs are like they're built on like hype and FOMO. This whole week has just been like a FOMO, but related to events. You can't possibly go to all of these events. You can't possibly be everywhere, and it's stressful in such a fun way because you get to like talk to. It's also really cool to like meet people in real life and talk to them. It's a little jarring to just be standing next to someone and hear them physically talk about NFTs. Because I don't know about you, but like I don't talk to anybody in real life about NFTs because they're not a big they're not that big. So it was really interesting to just stand in front of people or stand around people and hear people talk about NFTs in person. So I liked it. I really liked it.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that because it reminds me a lot of. I used to go to a lot of music festivals back in the day, and what I would always find was the two people you most wanted to see were always on at the same time, and it was like, what do I do? I can either go to like the start of one, but I won't hear the best songs because they always play the best songs at the end. So then you have to think whose song do you like most out of them all, and then you'll have to go to them last, or you just get too drunk and just don't go to any of them and like fall asleep in the campsite. That's also happened. I've gone to a festival before, and the main like band I wanted to see, I'd like fell asleep in the tent for it. So I was just like, for fuck's sake. But yeah, like I just like having everyone there because I know like talking about NFTs or anything in like well it is real life, but if you talk about NFTs to anyone, you either get laughed at or you just get like some blank stare. So obviously, if everybody's there for the same reason, I bet the vibe was absolutely awesome. But I was going to say, it was the
It
best.
was fun to just it's been fun to just not even talk NFTs. It's just fun to be talking to NFT people. Sometimes, yeah, you're talking to people when they talk NFTs, and like they'll talk degen plays and things that like they're interested in, or they'll have like their thoughts or opinions about like Ethereum or the market or coins or things like that. But surprisingly, there's been a lot of like, hey, my name is this, and this is what I like just talking about each other and like getting to know each other, and that's been my favorite part, just like getting to know people that are into NFTs but not talking NFTs.
Well, that's what I mean. Because it'll be really weird because obviously, with being online, a lot of people, well, I wouldn't say hide, but essentially do hide like behind the PFPs. Like nobody knows who they are. So obviously, you're meeting all these people who you've been talking to online, and you'll just be like expecting to go there and seeing like the NFT there, and you're like, you don't look like your profile picture. So I can just imagine it, but obviously at the same time, it'll be awesome because everyone's just there, just like with the same vibe. But I'm so jealous I didn't go. I've been like watching. I didn't want to watch too much just because I know that I'll just probably sit there crying. Like I really want to go. But like you say as well, it's making like connections, just meeting new people, and obviously we've got like shared hobbies. Is it a hobby? Is NFTing a hobby? I don't know, but yeah, everyone there, and, just like seeing like people behind the PFP. I mean, I know. I'll let you in a little secret that I have actually seen the real non-funge, and he doesn't look anything like he sounds. Trust me. like I was expecting some like some little like I don't know weedy college dude, and he's just like not at all. But yeah, I could just imagine it's quite weird at the same time. But yeah, I have seen the real non-funge.
I mean, a few people now have because of all these in real life events. But I tell people that I'm 6'5" and that I'm like 145 years old. But I'm and anybody who says that I'm not 6'5" who has met me, they're lying. But it's just been my favorite thing about meeting people in these events has been, I guess, what's been fun, like just talking to people and being like, oh wait, which one are you? Like, which one's your Twitter profile? And then that's happened a lot, like in the PA house, and it's been so fun to just like, oh, we swap Twitter information and we've already been following each other, but like people are presenting themselves, not as their Twitter handle, and I think that's been really fun.
Yeah, because obviously online, everybody's got like an online persona because you've got like that anonymity. Oh, here we go again. Right, the word that I can't say. I'm going to give it one more try. Anonymity. Yeah, you've got that. So you've got like essentially whatever persona you want. You can portray yourself as whatever you want, but
Well, I've
you
been
can't do that
developing like
anymore.
this theory lately about anonymity in general, especially in the space. I think that I don't think that we're anonymous. Actually, I mean, we are. Like no matter what happens, if I'm smart enough about it and careful enough, nobody will ever know who I am. But we're not anonymous. I think we would. I call it being semi-anonymous because NFTs are built on the idea of like building community, consistency, trust. So if I'm going to be like Noob Master 69, I have to. I'm gonna be Noob Master 69, and then I'll say what I'd say, and I'll do what I do, and then I have to come back. I have to be recognized. Everything that I do is built on like this idea that like I will be recognized, I will be seen again. So you're anonymous, sure, but you have to keep being like a presence. You have to come back. You have to be recognized. So even though we're anonymous, I feel like we're kind of like semi-anonymous. Like you're immense, and people will recognize you, and whatever you do will be remembered. And it needs to be that way. That's how kind of NFTs work, and then building a presence, I guess, depends on that. So, are we anonymous? I don't think we are in a way.
Yeah, I can totally get that. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, like you say, like I'm the mince, but I am still the mince. So I suppose I do get what you mean there. I was going to ask you though as well. What was your favourite part? Like what was the best thing that you went to or best thing you saw? I know you said you'd seen some artists and stuff, didn't you? Like not artists, like actual music artists.
Yesterday I went to the Madonna event. That was really cool. And then, I mean, there's so many things going on though. Like every night there's like some NFT project somewhere that has like some kind of like famous DJ that I've recognized or that I haven't recognized. Me and my girlfriend met some people yesterday, and we went to their hotel, I think, because they needed to like drop something off or pick something up or something. And in the balcony, Jack Johnson was performing, and we kind of like snuck into that and watched Jack Johnson perform for a little while, and then we went to the Madonna event. But like every night, there's something going on right now because NFTs are here, and all these NFTs are like bringing in all these acts and all these things. So I would argue that like every night there's something somewhere, and I just can't see it all. But it's really cool.
Yeah, and I think obviously because you moved to New York, the timing was literally perfect because, well, I don't know how big New York is, but I'm assuming you didn't have to go that far, did you, from the venue? I know it probably would have been quite a long walk, even if it was close, because of I think you had a few beers, didn't you? Because you did send me a couple of video messages in the pub.
Me, no, that was somebody else. Hey, you know what event was really cool though? Surprisingly, that it wasn't even like a late night kind of thing. Um, uh, Cool Cats. I'm sure you've heard of Cool Cats,
Yeah,
right?
what, why, what happened?
So there, I don't know how to explain it except that it was like this really interactive thing where you come in, you wait in line, and they have this the obstacle course. They have an obstacle course where they give you a band first of all, and at every little event or like every little activity, you put your band up, and then the whole thing is interactive, and you accumulate points based on the activities that you participate in. So there was like a floor is lava obstacle course, which is super fun. Then they had like this like huge video game like thing that you had to play with like other people, so it was like a teamwork thing. And then all throughout the place there was like little things that if you tapped your band that they gave you, it would like unlock certain things where you can accumulate more points. And at the end, at the exit, you could turn in all those points that you accumulated for merch. So it was so fun. Like we were there for like 2-3 hours just walking around, playing around with all these like cool cats things. I think I got hurt doing the floor is lava thing because I'm so old. Like me and my girlfriend got competitive, and we wanted to see who would do it faster, and I just went a little too hard, and that's how old I am. Like little activities for kids. Like I come out of them injured now, but it was so fun. So my first NFT merch ever is a Cool Cats merch. I have like a Cool Cats socks now, which I think is really cool. I love like that was a good idea because like it everybody who was there was like having fun. It was playful. It's it's free. You get free merch, so it's like free advertising for the NFT company, and then you bring kids. It's like it's really it's just a great good really really good idea. Like I love it because it just shows like the versatility that all these companies have as far as like marketing. Like other companies are doing like clubs or concerts or like open bars or like rooftop bars. Meanwhile, Cool Cats is having like a mini amusement park, and you can just that the sky's the limit. You can do anything with anything. So that it was a really good idea, and I really liked it, and the execution was awesome.
Yeah, I think especially something like that, you want to stand out, and obviously doing something like that is good as well because if you're online all the time, obviously you are really being active. So at the same time, it's encouraging people to be active, and like you say, you can involve your kids because at the end of the day, like we're at the very start of all like the NFT stuff and like all the blockchain integration. So obviously, like my children when they grow up, it's going to be part of their life anyway. No matter what we say, but not even like in the JPEG and like picture sense, just in like real world integration. So I think getting them involved in a fun way as well is good. And yeah, like nobody can complain at free, mate.
What I
But
what I
suppose,
really like about that too, though, is here's the thing that like me and my girlfriend actually was explaining to me, and I think you agree. You know that I feel this way too, but like the inherent problem I think with NFTs is that they by design are kind of exclusive. Like you hold one and it becomes like a membership to a club or you're a club or your community, right? And that mixing that with like mental health is a little dangerous because, like me and you have always said with Mental Health Collective, is we don't want to have any kind of services behind a paywall, which in theory is kind of what NFTs are. So that's the problem that I've always had with, and the only problem really that my biggest problem with NFTs, and my girlfriend agrees, like she doesn't like that it's like this privatized thing. Like, for example, you can't go to certain events unless you're a holder, right? Or you kind of access to all these. I mean, understandably though, I understand the design, but there is something, there is kind of, that it's understandable why people wouldn't like that. But for example, Cool Cats, anybody can go. You didn't have to be a holder. You could just wait in line, put your name. They give you the band, and you play all these games, and you could turn it in for like for for merch, and I just really like that. And like, yes, the kids enjoyed it because it's a fun thing, but there's a lot of people, you didn't have to be an NFT person. You didn't even have to be a holder to participate in any of the things, and I really really like that. And that really opened my eyes to the fact that like not all NFT projects have to be like that, and it also gave me, it made me feel optimistic about us and Mental Health Collective, because I thought, can we get away with being NFT people while also not being exclusive? Is it possible? And thankfully, like I saw, I came out of Cool Cats thinking, I think it is possible.
Yeah, I think. Well, like I was saying before, with that early in the space, nobody really knows what is possible yet. Like we're still in the very early stages. So I think what we're trying to do, which we are trying to like, I don't know. I think we are doing something pretty unique to a lot of other people. I mean, it's a lot slower process because we're doing like everything organically. We aren't doing like massive generative collections. We're just trying to be helping people, but at the same time, we've both got like interesting NFTs. But I think we're in like a position where it's early. So, but the good thing about what we've got with the MHC is we aren't too committed to one particular thing at the moment. So we have got that flexibility to like branch out
Well,
and
we're
different
interested in
things.
mental health.
Yeah, that's a good one. And what you're going to say like about the exclusivity as well, I think what you were saying about Cool Cats, I think that's probably a better approach to take. I would say, obviously, like I bet everybody was just jealous of people going to Ape Fest and seeing Eminem and Snoop Dogg, but at the same time, if if you've got like you said with the Cool Cats where you can interact if you are a holder, I think that's going to bring more people on board because they're like, well, this is fun. This and if this is like what I get for free, obviously I'm going to have a lot more fun being a holder. And it just, I know you've got like the exclusivity, and that can also be like a factor that interests people because they're like, oh, I want to know what happened. But at the same time, if you giving some stuff like for someone for free, it also attracts people because they're like, well, they're giving that for free, so obviously if I'm a holder, I'm going to get a lot more. But yeah, I'm like real optimistic for like the future of what's going to go on and stuff. But I'm glad you had a really good time. And yeah,
I think it just, I think it attracts the type of person you want to be, right? Like I think uh, if you're into that type of like lifestyle where you're not only are you like happy and proud of yourself, but you maybe feel the need to like maybe share that, like I think like Instagram people, right? Like people who like travel, but they want to travel and they need to take a picture and post it. Like I think that there's nothing wrong with that. That's something that people do, but I think that the exclusivity of NFTs take advantage of that personality trait, or that sometimes that social need that some of us have. Versus like, but I do think that because it's so new, there are other ways of doing it. Like there can be people like, I had a blast at the concert that I had access to only because I'm a holder. But I also think that I might remember the Cool Cats thing more, and I think I had more fun there for completely different reasons. I don't know. Like I guess my personality, and because I'm a therapist, and because I want to be really inclusive, I like the idea of anybody being able to come in and just I guess experience what we're trying to do, versus like you have to be behind, you have to pay this, or you have to say the secret password or blah blah before, or you have to know somebody, all these other things to come in and experience that. And I just think that I don't like that. And also like just meeting all these people in these events and talking to everybody, like my whole life I've always thought this, like everyone is so incredibly like impressive if you just give them a chance to show you how impressive they are. And if you just like ask and if you are curious and you're interested in a person, they will impress you if you just give them a chance to. And closing yourself off to others kind of closes yourself off to like so many interesting people, especially if they just can't afford it. So that's why I like anybody coming in and just being inclusive, keeping it everything free potentially, because I think you never know what incredible person might tell you something really incredible or share something incredible or help you in an incredible way if you just give them a chance.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the thing as well. Like anyone who's on the fence, like some of like the good ones are like, pretty pricey, and you're like, well, I don't really know anything about it. I don't really know anything about the technology, and you want me to spend like $200 or $300 on something I know nothing about, just for like some exclusivity factor. And yeah, like it's all like the kind of look at me thing, but that's not how you attract like average Joe, is it? You need to actually give them something, and like you say, if everything's behind closed doors, you have got the oh, I wonder what's behind there. But at the same time, you're like, well, you're all in there like being secretive, but I can go jump on a slide and play Floor is Lava with my kids for free at Cool Cart. So you could have think, well, I want to get a Cool Cart now. And especially if you were getting socks. But I was going to say, did you get the socks because you injured yourself and you couldn't do any more?
I got I got the socks because I wasn't fast enough to get like the really expensive stuff like the hoodies and stuff.
Yeah, well, I think if I go to the next one, I'll take my kids and I'll just be using them as like point farmers. I'll be like, right, you go there, you do that. We'll put all the points together, and Dad will get a nice hoodie. I think I'll go down that route.
Do you have NFT merch of any kind?
No, don't. To be fair, I've got because originally when I got into it, I was more with Solana NFTs just because like I couldn't warrant paying the gas fees. I thought, especially when Ethereum was like at 2K, obviously the price of gas goes up because gas is based on the price of Ethereum. So I was like, I'm not going to pay $50, $60 gas to get like an NFT that I don't know if it's any good or not. So I went with Solana just because I didn't have to pay the gas fees. But obviously that's a lot more in its infancy. But I've started to branch out into like Ethereum based ones. I've got what have I got? I got Misfits. They're not like because I'm like you. I tried to get like mental health focused NFT projects and stuff, but like my PFP, the Misfits, I just really like it because the owner, like the founder, he's just a really cool dude. I met him in a mental health space once, and I just like really like the guy behind the project. So I got some Misfits, and it's a really cool atmosphere, and they're all Australian, so they're absolutely mental. um, and then I think that was my first one, apart from the one we put out, obviously. But I've recently got. Let me just check my MetaMask wallet. I've got that many now that I don't even know. 2 seconds. I actually bought yesterday a humanitarian, but that was the same. That was the same reason why I got that, just because I like the people behind. I like the people behind the project. I think that's a lot what like draws people in. If you like the person behind it, and I really like the art. I'm a big art fan, but I've never actually got any merch or anything like that. Really, I don't know if any of these projects are bringing merch. I know the Misfits have just brought out an energy drink randomly, but I don't drink that many energy drinks, so it'd probably be like an antique on the shelf. So I didn't bother getting any of the energy drinks. But no, I haven't actually got any merch. I don't think. What about you?
Well, now I have Cool Cats merch, and now I have a PA shirt, and I'm trying to get a hold of someone for some Mimos merch because I love Mimos. I support them. I love what they're trying to do. They were in New York, but again, it's been so hard to the people that I've been able to meet up with. It's been great, but like because everybody's doing so many things, like I'm doing so many things, so many other people are doing so many things. It's really hard to see everyone. So I might not be able to see any of the Mimos people, surprisingly, like unfortunately.
Yeah, I totally. That was the one I forgot about. I totally forgot. I do actually have three memes, but again, I think it's because I like the founders, and I know when we first got into like the NFT space. Well, for me, I think that was when Memos was just first coming up, and I think they used to join our spaces actually, didn't they? And I just really like the people behind them, and I think that's what draws me in. Really, I think it's more. I'm not really about hype. Like I wish I was because I'd probably be rich now. But it's just I prefer to go for things where I see the passion behind the creators because I think it's all right having a hype project, but things that go up fast usually come down fast. But I like things where you can see that they're committed and like it doesn't really matter about the floor price because you know they've got a goal and they'll do anything to achieve that goal. And I think that'll just it'll just like naturally bring floor prices and stuff anyway, just because you can see the passion behind like the person doing it. I think that's what I like things with messages and people with passion. I think that's what draws me in.
Do you think? I mean, thinking more about like NFTs and what they are. Do you think it's fair to say that in a way, when you join a community, when you buy into an NFT, in a way, you're not really maybe we're not really investing in like the goal or maybe we're not really investing in like the potential for like making money. I think we're investing in the team, in the founders, in them and as a personality and whatever it is that they're working on. And we're investing in the person and more about that and less about like their goals or whatever their goals are. I think there's something to be said about that because some of my favorite projects in general, even if I'm looking from far away and I'm not an owner, a holder, are I think they're good because the founders are like these charismatic, like likable people that people want to support. One that comes to mind is
Mental Health Collective.
oh no, definitely not them. They're the worst. But I meant more like what are they called? Oh, Deadfellas. Their founder Betty is just like such a smart, empowering, inspirational person. Anything that they say, anything that they tweet, I always agree 100%. Like she's really good about like encouraging others and lifting people up and being really positive. And I think that because of that, I think that uh, Deadfella is just so successful because of her. I think so many other people like see that and support that, and I think that's I think more than anything, that's the most important thing. I think I don't know honestly, but like I think that's probably what leads the most to like being successful in the NFT space. Like just having like a person at the top that like breeds this kind of like support from others, like inspiring. And in a way, you have to be like a leader that people like flock to. Without that, like even if you have the best possible idea or you're solving like the best problems that are out there, I actually think that without a leader that people want to support, I don't think that it would be successful. I don't know what you think though.
Yeah, well, I think not to bullshit. Like I think everybody originally came like and got into NFTs because they heard about the money that like everybody was making all this money. These pictures of monkeys are going for like $300,000. I think that's why a lot of people originally came in. Well, that was probably my mindset coming in. But it's like
That was
when you
such a lie because I haven't made any money.
well, no, I haven't made a penny. I'm just stuck with loads of pictures, but but that's what I mean. I think a lot of people came for that originally, but what I like is just the people I've met, and like you say, like Deadfellas is a prime example. Just like amazing, like well, I would even say role models, and a lot of the time, positivity breeds positivity. So if you are essentially like a positive role model, and people like strive to like kind of be like you, I would say, but then I think that's why I stuck around, and that's why that is probably the same reason why I usually invest in a project, just because I do really like the person. Like you say, you could have the most amazing project in the world, but if you don't really vibe with the founder, or you think like they're all right, then I would be less willing to invest. But even if something like, I don't know, it wasn't that good of a project, but like the person running it was like a really cool person, I'd do it just to support them, just because I like who they are. And I think that's probably the main reason why I've invested. Because as I was saying before, like obviously you've got the gas fees with Ethereum, so I'm a lot more, I'm a lot less willing to invest unless something really stands out. And it's like you say, it's usually the founders and like the community they're creating and the attitude that they've got that makes me invest. Like, even if the project isn't that good, if they're a cool person, I'll be like, yeah, I'll vibe with that person.
In a way, it's kind of like a way of monetizing your personality, or like how likable you are, right?
Yeah, I don't think you could have put it better myself. So maybe maybe that's why we aren't doing something. We're just not very likable.
If there was ever a doubt if we're likable, this our success as the mental health collective founders is like a mirror of like how unlikable we truly are, man.
But yeah, exactly. But touching on what you said as well, like I don't know, like I just with the MHC, I like doing it for the people I'm meeting. I don't know if people like me that much or not, but I like doing it for my own community. And what we were saying before about like people who do like well with their communities and stuff, and I think it's because the community cares about them and they care about the community, and you can see that you like there's certain projects where like they're all hypey and stuff, but the founders like never engage with the community at all, and it's just all about floor price. But I just like community and just community building and just meeting like so many amazing people from so many different walks of life, and I think that's what it should be about, just meeting people and just spreading like a positive message and just trying to be a positive role model, I think.
I really do think that if there was ever a doubt about NFTs, it's all been gone after this week. Even though the market is down and everything, just because there are just so many people who the technology is I believe in the technology. I don't know about collections. Maybe collections will come and go, but the technology will definitely be here. It's definitely going to stay. And there's so many people who are into it that are just so creative. Like you know what I was thinking, what I was talking about too about NFTs is like 3, 4, or 5 years ago, I think one of the more common problems that I was seeing in a lot of people, including myself, was this like struggle and fight with identity, right? Like having that identity crisis, like who am I? What will my mark on the world be? What should what should I do? What is my purpose? What is my passion? What will I invest my time and my life into? And now for some reason, something cool about NFTs, I guess because of like, I mean, jokingly, I know we joked about how like, it's monetizing your personality and stuff like that, but in a way it kind of empowers people in such a cool way to like just proudly be themselves, whatever that is. Like I've just seen so many people, I've met so many people this week that are starting their own projects, and they're all kind of like focused on doing themselves. Anything they're doing, like if they're into traveling, they're doing some kind of like travel NFT. If they're into like um, doing something with, they're like a mom, they're doing something for moms. If they're into reading, they're doing something about like books. Like that, they're everybody is kind of just like. I think NFTs have a real cool power as far as like just telling us as an individual, like, hey, you are who you are is your passion, is your purpose, not like whatever you like, not whatever activity you choose to do. And NFTs like allow you to do that in a really cool way. So I see less of the like the identity struggle is like faced now with like a person who like proudly wants to be themselves and NFTs kind of like allow that somehow. I don't really. I guess because it monetizes who they are, and it also like builds a community that people support them, and it allows you to be creative and express yourself in such in whatever unique way you have, like with your own unique voice. It's really cool to see, man.
Yeah, because essentially, like I was saying, I'm attracted to the like founders, but like at the same time, people might be attracted to a project just because they've got like-minded like interests. And I think you did raise a really good point, and I think a lot of it. I don't know. I don't know if we're like reliving our second childhood, because like it kind of reminds me of like the Pokemon era, and just everybody was like involved in Pokemon cards, and it just brought everyone together. But I think what happens is like I've noticed as you get older, you get in that routine, and it's just the same old boring stuff. But that's when you start to lose your identity, and you start to lose like your passion for your hobbies and stuff, just because you get so bogged down with work. And I think this is like kind of bringing people back to their childhood. And like you say, people can express themselves however they want, and if people like that, but because of like the internet and stuff, like you can get your name out there. And obviously, if you're getting people in who've got like-minded interests, and they like you for you because of whatever you're doing, and like you say, it empowers people to be themselves. And I think people get so run down, especially with everything that's gone on recently. I think everyone's just that run down. It's just such a nice breath of fresh air, and just being able to like be yourself and feel like you're not being judged for it, so to speak, and just attracting people who are very similar. Because like you said, people will get there and they're like, what is my purpose? And especially I like when you're hitting your 30s, you're like, well, you kind of want to leave a legacy, don't you? You want to leave a mark on the world, like a positive one. You want to be like remembered for something good. And I think this is giving people a chance to do that, and especially people who wouldn't normally have a voice. And another thing that I've noticed is, especially with like artists, like one kind of artists. I think so many artists who wouldn't normally get recognised are getting recognised. And I know, even just from doing our spaces, there's so many like talent people in our spaces. But like a lot of people can struggle with anxiety and stuff like that. But if you're an artist, obviously before all like the NFT kind of thing, you'd have to engage with people or go to like art galleries and like showcase your art. But if you're suffering from something like anxiety, that is like a really daunting task for someone, and it's basically shutting down your passion just because you're struggling with like a mental health issue. And I think with like the NFT thing, it's giving people who wouldn't normally be able to do these things a chance to showcase their passion without having to do the things that people find hard. Do you get what I mean?
I never get what you mean, man.
It's probably the accent.
I mean, it's a shame you didn't come in here. Next year for sure, we'll be able to meet in person. But I do really like it, man. It's really cool, and I'm excited that like once this week is over, I'm excited to just like get back really into the mental health collective and just like gear back up and be a part of like everything that we've been trying to build. Because I really like what we're trying to build as far as like just like inclusive mental health for people and just like being heard, being seen, being validated. Like I sometimes it feels cheesy when I tell people, but because I've said it so many times, but I really do believe that like in a way we can just encourage people to just be supportive of the person next to you, or come up like just be nicer to others, and that does so much for people, and I think that's something that I hope we try to do in our spaces.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I think we all agreed, didn't we? Like when we first started, we wanted all to be purely organic. And I mean, like we've got like we've just hit like 1,000 followers on Twitter, but I'm really proud of that. I mean, there's people with like 60,000 followers, but if they've paid like marketing, they don't know half of the followers. Half the followers are bots. But the way we've done what we're doing, and like you said, the community with the create that supporting environment. I literally know like every single person in the Discord because I either remember them from a space or some kind of interaction. And I think that's what we need. And I think it's a lot slower process, and we know that. But at the same time, we know we're onto something because of all the positive remarks we get from our community, who we absolutely adore. And I think we do like it's that engagement, and it's like feeling accepted and feeling recognised, and that's what so many people are like lacking these days. And I think that's what we're trying to provide to them, just to be heard and listened to, and just focusing on your community. And I don't care how long it takes. I'm I'm here to just make a positive mark within the space, and just really focus on like people, and just making people feel validated, and making people feel heard.
I think that I think you're good at that. Honestly, you're really good at that. Like you're really welcoming and like you're just a warm person. But I feel like you probably know everybody on Discord because you're probably like always there because you are low key like super addicted to Discord and you built that. And I don't. Do you sleep? I feel like you don't sleep.
Just to flip it on its head, I actually hate Discord. Like, I'm always online, but I'm never actually online. Like, if people message me and stuff, I'll engage. But I'm not a massive fan of Discord. I think it was mainly made for gaming, and it's like the only kind of thing we've got at the moment for community. I don't know if like down the line there's going to be some kind of integration where we can kind of get everyone together, or something. I don't know, but I do sleep sometimes, but it's usually on weekends. But yeah, you're well. I don't want to go into ass kissing, but yeah, you're a pretty cool dude yourself. But unfortunately, you're not the funniest person on Twitter 2022, and that's been proven by the poll.
I think you know what I'm telling myself, man. I think that I set myself up for failure by the way that I put because I think that I'm the funniest person in this room, which is not saying much, but I I think because I said like, oh, you have no taste, right? Like I think I set myself up for failure. That's what I'm telling myself. It's not because you or people think that you're actually funnier. It's because I think I did it to myself.
Well, if you ever need to feel validated, we do actually run daily mental health spaces. But I
Oh,
know.
so let me know because I kind of missed it. Like, so we're no longer doing weekend spaces, right? Just Monday through Friday.
Yeah, I think we're doing Monday to Thursday at the moment. Like, well, my long term goal would be I would love to do a daily space every day, like in the morning and the night, just so we can reach as many people as possible. But it's not. It's that's detrimental to our own mental health, because I know we literally did Monday to Saturday 2 hours every single day for like nearly 5 months, and I didn't have anything against that. I could probably do that, but that's just because of my, like you say, it's just like because of my personality. If I get involved in something, I will give it my all. But I could see it getting to a point where if you give something your all, it it doesn't feel like, it starts to feel more like. Well, no, I'm not saying this at all, because that's not how I feel. But I think I could see like 2 or 3 months down the line, it would start to be mentally taxing for us. Like, I love supporting people, but at the same time, it supporting people all the time, you do need to support yourself as well. And I think having that little break and doing that has helped. But at the same time, I'm happy because we've been able to, with the restructure, we've been able to involve our community as well. And I think we were both on the same pages. We know there's awesome people in the community. Why does it all? What, it doesn't always have to be like. Well, no, I wouldn't say it doesn't have to be about us, because the spaces aren't like that at all. But why can we not involve? Because so many people bring so much like good experience to the space. So why are we not utilizing that and involving the community more? And that's literally what Web3 is about, really, isn't it? Everyone's get a chance to do stuff. So I think, like, I would love to do, like, down the line, I would love to do mental health spaces every day, but at the same time, I know it's not feasible for myself, because like I've suffered with my own mental health problems, and I don't want to please that, like, go out of my way to please people that much that I'm actually affecting my own mental health, because then that's taken away from what I can provide to other people.
I think ideally I would want the exact same thing, man. I love the idea of every day there's 2 mental health collective spaces, like just and like with like 12 hours in between them, right? That way somebody from everywhere in the world can reach out and be supported by someone. But you're right, we can't do it. We don't have the time. We have lives, we have things that we need to do. I think that was my biggest problem with the daily spaces. It's not that the supporting others has never been a problem. That's why I got into the mental health industry in general. That's why I like doing it. It actually makes me feel good. I feel excited. I feel energized. It never brings me, even when people talk about like really serious things, it never brings me down. It was really just the time commitment that was the most stressful part. The having to be somewhere at a certain time. That was the only stressful thing about the whole thing. But I'm a believer that like if anybody ever wants to do something, let them, right. Like give them the energy. So if I, I like that you're including other people as co-hosting, and I like the future of us potentially like letting other people host themselves under like maybe the mental health collective, right? Because the mental health collective, I don't think it's just us. I think the mental health collective is like just people being supportive of each other and providing like a support for each other. I think that's it. That's really just that's what I believe it is. I don't know what you think it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the proof's in the name. It's a collective, and you can't call it a collective. It's just solely like based on the co-founders' input and stuff. If it's a collective, you need to involve everybody, don't you? And I think, like, I know, like, we were going to just originally do the Monday spaces, but at the same time, I thought I I've met like so many amazing people. I know how much benefit they get to them. I didn't want to take it away and just give them like a Monday space, because I feel so many people do get a benefit from what we do. So that's why I thought, well, the only way we're going to do it is by restructuring it. And obviously, there's a lot of members in the community who are just really good at supporting people, and they suffer with mental health problems themselves, but they've got the experience. I mean, like, say in a medical setting, for example, like you could go to a therapist. Like, I'm not bashing therapists or anything at all. I know the like benefit they can provide, but you go to a therapist and they could be talking about, I don't know, for example, like bipolar or something, but they're essentially reading from a book. You're gonna get a lot more like real world, not well, I don't know how to phrase it. Like, I wouldn't say real world support, but someone who suffers with it as well, they're going to be able to provide a lot more than essentially reading from a book. And I think having like community members who've all like been through different experiences just really helps, because you get that relatability, and it's a lot easier to share what you're going through with someone who's been through it as well. And I mean, you can go to a therapist, but at the end of the day, you know, you're there for like say an hour, and then that's it. But the good thing about this is as well, like, you can't like, if you go to a therapy session and then you're having a bit of a hard day, you can't really just DM your therapist and be like, "Yo, what's up?" But if you're building like actual connections within a community, and you're friends with someone who's got similar struggles, you can just be like, "Hey, how are you doing? I'm experiencing this," and they'll just be like, "Oh, well, you know, I'm here for you," and they can maybe provide some kind of support that helped them when they were going through that experience. And I think, like, I'm not saying peer support or therapy. I don't think there's a divide, but I think we need having that integration. It's just more support, isn't it? So you've got someone who's there from a professional setting who does understand like the ins and outs of it from like a medical perspective, but at the same time, with the peer support, you've got someone who can understand it from a real world basis because they've lived it. So having like that combination together, it's only going to strengthen it. Obviously, as long as, like we always say in the spaces, as long as the peer support is not giving direct advice, because essentially they are in a position to give advice because they are trained medically to provide that advice, but they can provide their experiences that can help people.
The irony is that as a therapist, I mean, I'm a believer that a good therapist or the better the therapist, the less advice they give. Like I've never given advice, and I think that that's how it should be. So ironically, like advice is never given by good psychologists or therapists.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I've never had a chance to actually get one myself, just because of the accessibility problems in the UK. Like, I waited that long and then just essentially got shut down, and I think that's why. I think you know in yourself that I get a lot of benefit myself from the spaces, just when I'm struggling. I know we've spoke about it like in private, but I get a lot of support just from helping people, but at the same time hearing other people's like experience, because I can relate to it myself. And yeah, like it's no replacement for medical services, but I've like in the time we've been doing the spaces, I would say even my mindset has just completely shifted, and just I can relate to people so much more, and it translates into like a real world basis as well. I've noticed that I'm a lot more engaging just in people in general. But I think a lot of that is from obviously hosting spaces as well. You're essentially forced to engage and like communicate with people, and I think it does strengthen your social, what's the word? Social skill. Oh, social skills. Yeah. Sorry, I've had a gold ale beer, but yeah, I think it improves your real world skills as well. I think it is translatable, if that makes sense.
I agree, man. I think there's just so many people that are like lonely sometimes, or at the very least, like they're not supported in like a constructive way. Like I use the example all the time that I'll tell like my mom. I could tell my mom, for example, "Mom, I'm tired," and her response is, "You should sleep. You should have gotten more sleep." No shit, mom. But that's just how that's just how she is. But I love her and she's supportive and she she's probably the nicest person I've ever met in my life. But that's not what I need. I just sometimes just need to be heard, need to be seen, need to be supported, and I guess that's what I like about the Mental Health Collective and like the people who have come through and listen to each other and support each other. They don't tell people like get more sleep, right? They say, wow, that sucks, and I think that's something really powerful. I think that helps a lot more than that helps a lot. Like people really need that, so I'm happy about that. I'm gonna probably. We should probably wrap this up soon, man, because I gotta head out soon. You guess what I'm doing today? Like in a couple of hours, I'm going to go to one of the famous parks here in New York because there's a protest. They're going to be protesting for what happened at the Roe v. Wade.
Yeah, I was literally about, because I know we'll be wrapping up soon, and I'm surprised we've even just managed to talk. Oh, I forgot we can swear as well because it's not like a mental health focus thing. Yeah, I thought like I didn't even think we'd be able to just chat pure shit for like an hour, but I think we do quite well at it. But yeah, I was literally thinking that because I think I wanted to touch on the Roe v Wade thing as well, and I really appreciate like what you're doing like to support women. I know we're men, so we can't understand it in a like physical, biological sense, but just being there supporting the women, I think that's amazing. And yeah, it's absolutely disgusting that, and I don't, I don't want to get like too irate, but I mean, fucking hell, man, it's
Hey, for real,
2022. What the fuck?
I do think it's bullshit. Like I think whatever it is that you believe, fine. I respect that you're right to believe that, but I also believe that people should have a right, and I think that it's fucked up to like take people's right away. I let people choose, so I think that people should have a right, and that's really what I believe. So I think taking that away from people seems so unfair, and so I definitely want to be a part of that.
Yeah, and I absolutely applaud it for you. I mean, if I was there, I'd be there at the front line with you, just getting the point across and just being there to support women. I mean, it's 2022 and it's like it don't feel real. It's like satire. It's like, what is this actually real? I mean, like you're saying that you can control like women's bodies. It's like what the fuck, man? It's fucking mental. But yeah, I wish you the best of luck on there, man. I know there's gonna be a lot of protests, but well deservedly, and hopefully if everyone starts banding together and women and men are like, well, any gender just banding together and supporting that cause, just get that message across, and let's get it. Get let's just sort it out, man.
I guess what bothers me is like from a therapist point of view, right? Like if it breaks my heart when like people can't. Like part of like I guess mental health journey is like learning about yourself, like getting into self awareness about like yourself, and also about like your goals, your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings, everything, right? And that's a big part of it. But then another part is like choosing to do something with it, right? Like do you want to just like leave it alone? Do you want to change? Do you want to like put forth some kind of goal or work towards something? And that's another fun part of it too. But it breaks my heart when like people can't do something. Like if they did finally figure out what they want to do something and then they can't, that sucks. Like the choice, the freedom to do stuff is key, and getting rid of that or taking that away from people is messed up, especially because it's been around. So like you're right. It feels like we're taking a step backwards, and it feels unfair.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like we're going into the dark ages. I mean, like, and there's so many like situations. Like, I don't want to touch too much on it, but like, imagine if like you'd been sexually assaulted, and obviously it would be like I don't know because I'm not a woman, but I can kind of like put myself in their shoes, so to speak. But it's terrible, man, and especially if it's like that was there and then you're taking it away. It's like what is that going to achieve like at all? And I mean, oh, it makes me really fucking angry, man. But I really applaud you you going and supporting, and I'll be there supporting any way I can.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get ready now and do that. But this was fun, man. We should do this every week. Hopefully, people find some interest in that. I think there is something. You know, what I like about doing this though too is it it gets me thinking about certain things. It also lets me like talk to you more, and also there's something to be said about content. People like content. People like I look forward to like when a certain person that I like posts like a YouTube video where they just talk at the camera about basketball for like 20 minutes. I think to myself, cool, 20 minutes where I could just like listen to this guy talk. So I hope that us doing this helps people like um, at least listen to us and talk about rubbish. That's really what we're doing. We're just talking crap about nothing, aren't we?
Yeah, well, I think like the irony of it is like obviously in our spaces, when people are first coming in, we just like start talking a lot of rubbish. But there's literally people who come in to our spaces just to hear us like the banter in between, listening and supporting people. So I think if we could now we've got like a place where we can just literally chat pure shit for an hour. I hope somebody gets something out of it. But yeah, I know you've got to go, but I'm gonna try and find the worst joke I can because I am the funniest person on Twitter 2022. So I'll give you a minute and then I'm going to come with the worst joke ever just to prove that I am the best. And I've got one, right?
I got
What
one
does,
for you.
right, you, right, who goes first? That's the question.
I'll go first. How do you make holy water?
I don't know how to make holy water.
You boil the hell out of it.
I've never actually heard that one. Right, I'll give you a 1 out of 10 for that, right? I've got one. What do sprinters eat before a race? Nothing. They fast.
I like that one.
But yeah, man, great to hear from you. I know, obviously, I haven't heard from you for a bit because of NFT NYC. But yeah, great to see you again, and best of luck in the protest. Make sure we just get the point across, and just obviously stay safe. But yeah, just applaud you for doing that, man. 100%. And hopefully, if enough people do it, we can reverse it all because it's a fucking joke.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, I'll keep you posted, and I'll definitely be back to normal schedule next week. But yeah, thanks for doing this. I'll talk to you soon, dude.
See you later, brother.